What's up, Fuckquacks? So we're continuing the Toyhouse saga, and this time this video will be about Toyhouse warnings. I will say that don't expect this Toyhouse saga to continue for too long. If you sub just to hear me talk about Toyhouse, this isn't like one I'm gonna keep making videos about forever. Like, there's only gonna be maybe like a few more that I'll make, and then that's it. So if you don't like that, I'm sorry. Like, this isn't gonna be like a Toyhouse centric channel or anything like that. This was just me talking about things I've noticed on the site that no one else has talked about. So yeah, with that said in mind, let's get into Toyhouse users and why their warnings are quite crazy. So the point of warnings is to give a heads up to anyone viewing a profile, whether it's a user's profile or a character's profile, of any triggering content. The problem is that a lot of Toyhouse users love to abuse warnings by either being really cheeky and silly, or they have warnings that are so unreadable that it basically just defeats the purpose of the warning, or the warning might be ironic in kind of a dangerous sense, like trigger warning for color sensitivity or bright flashing lights and stuff, but then the warning is literally bright and flashy, which I find really stupid, because what is the point of having that if you're basically going to have that in the warning? The warning should not have triggering content in it. It should literally be plain and just, here's what's in the profile, be warned, and then continue. So a lot of people probably, as a result of users being so laissez-faire with their warnings, they have turned them off, which is something you can do. However, that comes with the price of not being able to know what you're seeing when you click on a profile, which can be a roulette for some people. Like, if you have epilepsy, that could be a really big issue, because a lot of users on the site, despite the site being very like, oh, we're all for disabilities and being progressive and stuff, but when it comes to disabilities like epilepsy, everyone just does not give a shit about that. Oh, you got epilepsy? I would not recommend using Toyhouse. There is a thread that I found where there is a way to freeze GIFs, which is great. I will link that in the description. So there is a positive, but it sucks that people have been so crappy with how they're setting up their warnings that people with epilepsy or any sort of like sensitivity to certain visuals or colors or whatever, they have to basically roam the site as cautiously as possible, because people don't want to be considerate. It's not hard to be considerate, and I will admit that I, maybe not with my warnings, but with my profiles, I would like have really bright colors, a lot of flashy GIFs. I would put warnings for them, but I did rework them, so now all my profiles are like completely white with just black text, and there are still GIFs on there, but for the ones that might be more triggering, I do put warnings, because I'm just like, you know what, it's not worth people having like their eyes burning just so they can read a profile. And it sucks to kind of have to strip away the aesthetic, but you know, it's for other people's benefit, you know, it's for their comfort, and I don't see why that's a problem. Making other people comfortable while they read your character profiles is really the point. Like, yes, I mean, the site is a storage site, so it's not for everybody. You can't make it just for yourself, but if you want to share it publicly, people are probably going to come across your OCs at some point, so why not at least do the kind favor of making your profiles and your warnings at least somewhat bearable to look at. There's also the issue of people misusing warnings by having blacklists in them, which in the blacklist video, which was mentioned, how some people just put blacklists in their warnings, and I was like, guys, this is not what warnings are for. You can make a separate post for that. Why are you putting them in the warning? This also adds a problem because it adds bloat to warnings. Warnings should be short and very brief. It should not be an introduction to you. It should not be a hi, hello, this is me, hello, and then warning. It should just be, this is the warning. Warning for blah blah blah. Not giving your whole life story, okay? That's a waste of reading time. It bloats the warning, and no one wants to read a long warning. If you have to scroll, like, I'm not talking just about mobile, because sometimes mobile like lengthens things. I mean, like, if you have to literally scroll just to get through a warning, it's too long. It's too long, and you gotta cut it down. You need to just cut it down to the basics. What is going on in the profile? You need to identify what is potentially triggering to anybody. It doesn't need to get super duper specific, you know, like, just be general, and then just write that down. It's not that hard, but some of y'all like to yap. That's another thing. A lot of people love to yap. They love to yap. The blacklist I mentioned, people love to yap about everything. It's like, we don't need to know about like how someone's blacklisted because they offered an OC of yours and they didn't realize it was not up for trade or whatever, and you got really mad. Like, we don't need to know about that. We don't need to know about your beef with the friend that you had we had like a falling out like 4 months ago and you're still pressed about it. Like, we don't need to know this. This doesn't need to be in a warning. It doesn't need to be in a warning at all. And another thing about warnings is that there are DNIs in there as well, which I find very strange because, well, I mean, I guess kind of it's fine, but also not really, because, like, again, a warning is for the general, like, just warning for triggering topics. It shouldn't just be for like, hey, if you're this, get away. That should be on your profile, as in the profile you click after you click the warning to accept it, and then you see like the user's profile. It should not be on the warning, because in my opinion, the user's profile should be like all about you and what you're about, and then the warning is just, again, for anything triggering or anything sort of heads up. So I don't know why people keep on like not doing that. There is another thing. Some people like to add images to their warnings, which is I'm not the biggest fan of either, because again, it adds bloat to the warning and it may not format correctly on mobile, which is a problem. Not many people are going to be on their computers. They might be on their phones. And if you're on Toyhouse, sometimes when it comes to like doing profiles and stuff, what might look good on desktop might not look good on your phone. So you gotta be careful with that. And sometimes warnings will look really bad on your phone because of how it's formatted. Like, I've seen warnings that looked fine on desktop, but then I'll go on mobile and it would just be like super long and lanky. Speaking of images, there is a sort of thing I've seen on many profiles, and I'm kind of mixed on it because it's not the worst thing ever, but I know some people might not be the biggest fan of it either, but I might as well address it. So there was this user that had made a bunch of these small like icon GIF things that could be put into warnings to, like, you know, as like a visual representation of like what to warn of. And I do like the art that the person made because I think it's really good. I like how inoffensive it is. The stuff used is very symbolic. The colors are palatable. The GIFs themselves are like really small movements, so it's not harsh on anyone's eyes. So I do like it in that regards, but it does make me wonder, like, is it worth it to go through all the effort just to put all these images there for each warning? But also at the same time, the images themselves are not too bad. So it's like, I guess I don't really mind it because it gets the message across and it's not too bad. And visually speaking, it's easy on the eyes, and it is, I do appreciate the symbolism and time the person went through to make all these images. But it's, I guess, as a personal preference. You can add them to your warnings if you want. Personally, I just go with words because it's easier and faster. I might as well just write a list and call it a day. But for some people, maybe those visuals might be good. It's like a quick look into, oh, this is what the profile is all about. Great. So with that said, let's look at some really bad warnings and talk about why they're bad. And also, I will say that I got all these warnings from a Tumblr blog called Bad Toyhouse Warnings, and there isn't too much content, so I only picked out like the stuff that I was like, this is pretty knowable, or I could like talk about in the video. So let's get into it.
This contains yaoi.
When you see my profile, you will be greeted with an aggressive warning in bright colors with DNIs and blacklists. Don't take it from my OCS. I don't put warnings for the sensitive eyes. So issue, get new one. Long text is all that I have in my convoluted Toyhouse warning.
So first things first here, this warning is really bad because you can't read it at all. They have this like strawberry background and this meme image at the top, again, kind of adding bloat to the warning. And this is another issue that a lot of warnings have, is that they prioritize aesthetics over like just simplicity and getting the message across of it being a warning. So I can barely read this. It's really stupid how like they thought this was a good idea. Here's a pro tip for anyone wanting to put light on light text. Add a black outline or stroke to the text and boom, it's easier to read. It's not that hard. But anyway, yeah, this is a bad warning simply for it being really unreadable, and the meme image is kind of unnecessary. I'm sorry, I'm gonna sound like such like a party pooper, but I feel like adding meme images to warnings is also kind of pointless, especially if there's no like actual thing being warned. If it's just there for the sake of being there, it's like, what's the point? Like, it just wastes time, because it's like more clicking you have to do, and it's like, it might actually turn people away if you have that there, because like, what's the point? You're just kind of wasting time. I know I sound mean, but that's just me trying to be critical, I guess. So this one is not the best either, because the top text is very hard to read. I don't know why so many people on this site just do not understand basic like color contrast, and I feel like even if you were like colorblind, you'd still understand like, yeah, this color looks good on this color because it's darker and this color is lighter. Like, it's not that hard. Like, the bottom text is fine because you can read it because it's in red, but then the top text is like this ugly, weird, mustardy yellow color. And let's just talk about what the person said, because this is also something that I wanted to mention, is that a lot of people in their warnings are very hostile, and I'm just wondering if like the people they're addressing, are they actually bothering them, or are they just being afraid and being very paranoid? So goodness, what in the world? They're getting mad because all their characters are straight, and if you got a problem with that, then like piss off basically. Like, no one's gonna hate you because you have a bunch of straight characters, okay? No one gives a shit. Yeah, this person's clearly gotta relax. No one's gonna hate you because you have straight characters. You're now putting a target on yourself for this in your warning, so why don't you relax? Maybe take that out of your warning. Maybe change the text color of the first part of this warning because it's hard to read. Well, actually, that should be removed in general, but if you were to change the color, make it red or black, not this mustard yellow color, and just chill. Like, this is so aggressive. Again, this is another warning where it's basically just a blacklist, and all the reasons for the blacklist are just really stupid and petty. Okay, I know I'm a 24-year-old talking about Toyhouse, but like, I don't understand this kinning stuff. I don't know why people are so over the top and like wacky about kinning. Like, why is this such a big deal? Can someone explain to me what the deal is, why people are so crazy with kinning? Like, I really want to know, because I don't get why so many people on the website are so odd about it. Because like, why is this person like upset about kinning and doubles? Like, what does this mean? What does this mean? I'm chronically online, but not this chronically online. What does any of this mean? Why are they so aggressive about it? And why is this on a warning? This is not warning about the character or their profile. It's just being a blacklist. It's petty, and the usernames are all like blocked out, so it's clear that they had their usernames just out there, which is, again, when I mentioned in my blacklist video, that's bad, because why do you have these usernames out there for people to find? It's clear that none of these people did anything that was like actually bad. This person is just being very petty and rude, and doing that in a warning especially is like really messed up. Oh, watch out guys, we got a badass over here. And yeah, this is so scary, guys. Don't cause drama or else they'll kill you. They use the slash SRS tone tag for it, so that's, you know, that's serious business. It's not slash J slash Cyrus. That's pretty bad. They're gonna kill you if you cause drama. Don't cause drama or else you'll die. This is just fucking stupid. I'm sorry. This is a waste of time, and again, this is not a warning, this is just trolling, and I'm sorry, I just find it to be stupid to use warnings like this. It's not funny. What is the point? Oh, straight men doing it indirect, ha 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 ha. Okay, look, I get it, straight dudes can be pretty crazy at times, but like, this is just not funny. The giant wall of white does not help as well. It's so and the bottom text is so funny to me. If you made it this far, I'm going to tell you that the men thing is a joke, and if you don't like that it is a joke, maybe I and this page are not for you. This is giving me that energy of like, it's just a joke, like, why are you getting so offended? Like, no, you're not being funny. Jokes are supposed to be funny, and if you're not making people laugh with your jokes, then you need to fix your joke, because this is not a funny joke. This is just stupid. I'm sorry. Okay, this is another DNI warning, and okay, bingo time. Comment which fandom you got hit with, because it seems like there's a lot, and yeah. So do not interact if you engage with these irredeemable pieces of media: Steven Universe, Fire Emblem, Pokemon, Danganronpa, the Mario franchise, Sonic franchise, DNF, FNAF, Undertale, To Kill a Mockingbird, Catcher in the Rye, The Great Gatsby, Wuthering Heights, Frankenstein 1818, Dracula 1897, Great Expectations, Phantom of the Opera, Garfield Comics, 80s He-Man, The Magic School Bus, League of Super Evil, Johnny Test, and what is wrong with Chowder? Okay. I'm sorry, the Magic School Bus one is killing me, because what did Miss Frizzle do to you? Miss Frizzle is like the best teacher ever. Why the Magic School Bus? What? And Chowder. Like, really? You hate the Magic School Bus? It's irredeemable? Why? Were you forced to watch it, like, too much in school? Did you just not like it? Like, what? I don't know. I don't fuck with this person, because how dare you say anything bad about Miss Frizzle? She's the best. Nope, I don't like this. We're moving on. So this would be funny, but like, because it's on a warning, it's just not, because again, this isn't warning anything specific, it's just there. Like, I don't want to sound like I have no sense of humor. I do, it's just, this is not what the purpose of warnings are supposed to be, but I do find that whole, like, warning this may have yaoi thing to be really funny. I just feel like this is not the appropriate place to put it. It'd be better on a character's profile, because that would be funny, but not in a warning, right? This is just crazy. First of all, it's hard to read because it's red on red, but what is being said here is insane to me. Every time you take heavy inspiration from my designs without credit or checking in with me, a puppy dies.
If you take inspo from me, I'll kill a puppy.
Do you want to kill a puppy? Are you a puppy killer? Don't copy my designs!
Daddy, chill.
So we just found Cruella DeVille on Toyhouse.com, but apparently she's holding puppies for hostage, so if you take heavy inspiration from this person, a puppy is gonna die, apparently. That is, not gonna lie, really fucked up. Like, not even in like a funny way, that is just messed up. Like, you can just say, hey, don't take inspiration from my designs and leave it at that, but no, you had to bring fictional puppies into this. I'm sorry, at least the other person with like the, if you cause drama, I'll kill you, was at least just, it was vague. But this is like, really, it was a little too intense for me. I feel like this is like, a little try-hard edgy. Like, seriously, if you don't want people to take inspiration from your designs, just say that. I mean, I really don't like that whole thing, because you can't gatekeep inspiration. People are going to take inspiration regardless. As long as they're not copying too much, then that's fine. But this level extreme is just, you need to relax, okay? And don't kill puppies. Leave the puppies alone. They're too cute to be killed. Oh boy, we got ourselves another yap fest, and this time it's about like LGBT and neo-pronouns and stuff. They have their whole thing listed. I just don't understand why people gotta put their politics in their warnings. Like, again, that's for the profile, okay? That's where you introduce yourself. And I will say, there is something that bothered me about what they put here that I wanted to address. I know that this is like really off topic, but I wanted to say it just because. So in their first part, in the sentence, they say they're against xenogenders and neo-pronouns. So I'm gonna be honest, for a while I was also against it, but I've kind of reached the point of neutrality. Like, I don't entirely understand it. I kind of do, but not really. But at the same time, it's like, people who are against it always like to use the excuse of, oh, well, it's harming the LGBT, it's making us look bad. But it's like, it really isn't, because what's really harming the LGBT community is the grifters, the people like Blair White who are clearly trying hard to rub elbows with conservatives. Those are the people that are causing real harm, because they're the ones that think that if they are one of the good ones, that they'll get some sort of higher, like, place on the social totem pole or whatever, whereas all the other people who don't fit into the narrow views of what a good LGBT person looks like, that, you know, they'll just be left behind. And I don't like that attitude. I find it to be really annoying. So yeah, I'm kind of just on the side of like, let people do what they want. It's not really harming the community. Like, people are going to hate the LGBT regardless of neo-pronouns and xenogenders anyway. Like, you could literally just exist and people are going to find a reason to hate you. It doesn't matter if you're one of the good ones where you don't have dyed hair, piercings, or tattoos, or you have pronouns in your bio. People are going to hate you regardless. And no matter how hard you try to strip away all of that and you try to look not, you know, gay or whatever, and you just try to be normal in like conservatives' eyes, or you try really hard to fit in, you're still going to be the one LGBT person. You're still gonna be like one of the good ones. You're still part of that group anyway. So why not just embrace the fact that you're a part of it and stop trying to win the affection over of people that don't like you and never will like you. They won't like you, okay? They're not going to pick you. And if you do get picked, you're going to be a pawn, and eventually you're going to be discarded, and you're going to just be used as like a tool against your own community. And when you try to go back to your community, don't be surprised when people don't want you back because you betrayed them. And I'm sorry that this got a little serious, but I wanted to say that. But yeah, I don't really like what this person said. I find that kind of annoying. And their freaking blacklist and DNI is stupid because, what do you mean they called you buzzwords? What does that even mean? Like, whatever, this person's irritating. Let's just move on. Okay, so this is like probably one of the worst examples of unreadable text. I cannot read this, and you probably can't read this. I managed to decipher a little bit. I think it says to not take heavily inspiration for their designs, but like, do people even who make unreadable text, like, do they just have like different eyes, or do they think it's like aesthetic? Because I cannot read this at all. Listen, I've had OC profiles where like the text was like not the best in terms of contrast, but at least it tried. But this is like not even trying. This is just the worst contrast I've ever seen. There's no contrast whatsoever. It's like pinkish white on green. What is wrong with y'all? Like, this is terrible. Seriously, this is not readable at all. If you really think that this is a good idea to have, no, please just make the text black, okay? Like, it's not that hard to have it be contrasting. I don't know why people do this. Ugh. So this one is really stupid, and like, I understand not getting a response in a certain amount of time, but not everyone uses Toyhouse as frequently as others. Ghosting someone, it's not really considered ghosting if it's like 48 hours. That's not really ghosting. That's like 2 days. I mean, I would consider it ghosting if it's been like maybe like a week or two. That's probably ghosting, but even then, like, if someone's busy or maybe they just don't feel like logging on Toyhouse and they log on and you block them, and it's like, oh, well, now they're gonna have to basically just not be able to respond to you, get back to you because they were busy doing stuff. People are busy, okay? Like, I get it. I'm also chronically online, so sometimes when people take a while to respond, I'm like, what's going on over there? But I have to remember not everyone is sitting in their room all day doing nothing. So I have to remind myself that people have work, people have other things to do. They're not always going to be sitting around on their computer, and you gotta realize that. So yeah, having this as like a thing for getting blocked is really stupid. This is kind of passive aggressive, and I don't like it. A lot of warnings I've mentioned we've seen are very passive aggressive, very like rude. They just have this like, you don't like it, deal with it sort of energy, and y'all are not badass, okay? This is also a thing that happens in Toyhouse where sometimes if a person has like a character and there's a lot of favorites, they might ping all the people who favorited the character as a way to gain interest. For example, if the person wants to get rid of the character, like through selling or trade, they might ping everybody. I don't like this. This is not the best thing ever. Just make a ping list instead of pinging people for favoring the character. Because like, what if I want a favorite character because I just like the design? I don't want it, I just like the design. But now I'm getting pinged constantly because you want to just have a ping list. A fave list is not a ping list. If you want a ping list, then ask the people or comment like, hey, do you want to be put on a ping list? And then ping those people if they're interested instead of doing that, because that saves you, because also it feels like it's more effort to go through like the fave list anyway. But yeah, I just find that practice to be kind of weird in my opinion. More unreadable text, and this is also kind of favoring aesthetics over like just cohesion and getting the point across. I mean, what's being said is fine. It's just the font used isn't really the best to read. I really don't think the white with the light pink stroke is really good, especially when it's like right on top of like a lighter peachy color. It's just not good. Like, you guys gotta understand how contrast and stuff works, because it's clear that some people just put stuff on there and just don't think about it. They just like, oh, okay, let me just use these colors because it's aesthetic and pretty, and they don't think about how it's gonna look, and it's really frustrating. So this is the last one, and this is just another passive aggressive, really stupid one, and I'm gonna read aloud because I'm sorry, I don't like using cringe, but this is just really bad. Okay, so you want to steal my art? I don't think so. My designs? No, 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 broski. Those snatching hands shall not lay one finger on them. Wait, wait. You want to trace? Nobody, nope, nope. That's against the law. You don't want to be illegal, do you? XD lol. Woo/J. But for real though, no snatchy. Reading that took a few years off my life, so that was fun. And that's the last warning that I've compiled throughout these example warnings of bad warnings. I said warnings like 50 times, geez. Yeah, this is not good, because you can just say, don't take inspiration from my designs, and leave it at that. Okay, I don't think anything is gonna top the puppy killer one, but y'all need to just... If you don't want people to take inspiration from your designs, either private your account or just say, hey, don't take inspo, and just leave it at that. Don't be aggressive about it. Don't be weird. I don't know why people are like this. It's so annoying because it's so aggressive and over the top, and I don't get it. But anyway, so what's the lesson that we learned from Toyhouse warnings? The lesson is that warnings are meant to warn people. They are meant to be a heads up. They should be simple. They should be easy to read. And they should be very short and clear. Now, if you want to have some sort of aesthetic to them, you could have those little GIFs that one artist made in your warnings, so that we can have some visual appeal. But frankly, the point of a warning is to be a heads up for triggering content, not for aesthetics. That's what your profiles are for. It's not supposed to be aesthetic. It's not a place for DNIs, and it's not a place for blacklists. And it's also not a place to yap about random stuff. And it's not a place for things like weird random images either. I sound like a party pooper, but that is the point of them. And if you want to break the rules, then don't be surprised when people turn off warnings, or they might disregard something because you couldn't follow the rules. I had my warnings turned off for quite some time because I was just like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm tired of finding warnings that are really stupid or flashy or just hard to read, because I'm not wasting my time with that. So if people break some DNI that you have, it's probably because they didn't click on your warning because they had their warnings turned off, because you, the person who made the warning, made your warning hard to read or just unbearable or really pointless. And they were like, you know what? Well, I'm not going to have warnings on then. So don't be surprised if people disregard your warnings, because they probably just didn't want to deal with that crap. So with that said in mind, keep your warnings simple and clean. Haha, see what I did there? And have a nice day, fellow quacks. I'll see you later.